and we shall. Before then, let us read from another short section of our book. Today we are reading In Love, at Ease, Everyday Spirituality with Pramukh Swami Maharaj. He was a spiritual leader, president and guru of a specific organization known as the BAPS Swaminarayan Sanstha. Don't worry so much about that. Actually, this book isn't about the organization itself, but about him as a person. We are in the second chapter and the second part in the chapter, which is all about how he dealt with self-love. Atmanishta is the Sanskrit term here. And maybe we can learn some things about loving ourselves too. Swamishri was equally regular with his yoga, pranayama, breathing exercises, and meditation every afternoon. He would often ask sadhus and bhaktas, monks and devotees, who had certain queries or anxieties to sit in the room with him as he meditated. This spiritually charged environment would heal the unease and angst of those in his presence. Though very little attention has been given to the spiritual master's meticulous daily exercise and meditation routine in the community's other accounts of his life, I have witnessed firsthand as a child and later as a young adult the tenacity and diligence with which he managed it amid his travels across the world. Swamishri was in Sarangpur and refused to eat anything. The sadhus and attendants tried to convince him to have a few bites but were unsuccessful. Bhadresh Das Swami knew how to get Swamishri to give in. He turned to Swamishri and said, "You have spent your entire life sharing discourses and meeting bhaktas to listen to their troubles. Do you not want to do that again? You are weak now. We need you to eat a little every day so that you can regain your strength to speak to them and meet them." Swamishri nodded in agreement and directed the attendants to bring some food for him to eat. Swamishri's regularity and diligent care for his well-being was driven by his desire to connect, serve, and please those around him. This clarity of purpose inspired others to stay healthy and energized for the right reasons as well. Hello, Pesto. Happy to have you here. Swamishri emphasized the need for a work-life bhakti balance. One afternoon in Chicago, Swamishri and the sadhus were counting all the different medications that he took daily. Swamishri was not fond of swallowing pills, so the sadhus were trying to convince him that he did not take nearly as many pills as some of the other sadhus and bhaktas. One of the attendants knew that I was taking quite a few medications. He rushed to the kitchen area to ask me how many pills I took daily. 28, I answered. Wow. He rushed back to tell Swamishri. The spiritual master immediately asked to see me. He sat me at the edge of the bed and asked me about each medication, the size of the pills, and how long it took me to take my medicines. One of the sadhus complained about my habits. Swamishri, he is very nonchalant. He does not take his medications on time, does not sleep on time, and has his meals at odd hours. Sounds like me. Swamishri instructed me to be diligent and advised. On time every day, Yogi. Regularity will help you more than even medication itself. Regularity is good for maintaining one's body, mind, and spiritual routine. Do you exercise? Yoga, pranayama, How about walking? Be sure to take your pills every day. We will remind each other. Deal? And go to sleep when it is time. There is no end to work, but fortunately, there is always tomorrow. Swamishri checked up on me after 3 months and again after 3 years to make sure I was taking my medications regularly. Swamishri's advice was not only helpful in guiding me to regulate. I don't know where that word came from. There's no regulate in this sentence. Swamishri's advice was not only helpful in guiding me to better navigate my long-term illnesses, but also helped me understand the importance of consistency, exercise, and the need to pace myself without being overly anxious about deadlines. Hello, Stephen. Along with exercise, Swamishri insisted that every human he interacted with, regardless of their age, religion, and ethnic background, focused on healthy consumption. He insisted on people living a vice and intoxication-free lifestyle. Through BAPS, his organization, and BAPS Charities, Pramukh Swami Maharaj inspired 4 million people to give up addictions such as tobacco, nicotine, alcohol, and illicit drugs. Swamishri took every opportunity to convince someone to give up their addictions. He spoke about their negative effects on one's health and the cost to one's family, personal finances, and social well-being. No one was too small or too important, and everyone was treated with the same urgency and import. I see your question, Caro. Yes, we can talk about that just as I finish reading in a minute. Thank you for your patience. Swamishri was in Nairobi and had requested the sadhus to vacate the dining hall because he was meeting with members of the city council. As the community leaders entered the room, Swamishri noticed 2 cooks standing by the side door, waiting for his darshan. He called to them and asked, "Are you waiting for me?" One of the cooks introduced the other, saying, "Swamishri, this is a friend of mine. He works for one of our devotees here. He chews 100 Kenyan shillings worth of tobacco every day." Swamishri immediately turned his attention to the friend. He asked, "What is your name? How old are you?" Before the man could answer, a second set of questions quickly followed. "Where are you from in India? Do you have land there? Who takes care of it? Your parents sent you here to earn money, not waste it. Fix your life, give up your addictions, send money back to your family, and spend money wisely on yourself. I will ask about you. Make sure you stop chewing tobacco." Swamishri even stopped on the road once to convince someone to care for their health. After completing a few bhadramanis in the village of Madhi, Swamishri's car was passing through the village square. He noticed an elderly man sitting on the side of the road, smoking. He asked for the bhakta to stop the car. He rolled down the window and appealed to the old man. "I am worried about your health. Please, stop smoking. That cigarette will cost you your life and the lives of those around you if your grandchildren also pick up these habits." The old man snapped back, "Relax, relax, you mendicant. I do not have long left to live. Let me be in peace." Swamishri continued to plead, even though the elderly man refused to acknowledge his presence. In addition to reaching out to people he didn't know, Swamishri was persistent in his efforts. Dinsha Patel was one of the first volunteers to travel with Pramukh Swami Maharaj during his road travels around North America in the early 1970s. Though he was enthusiastic about service, Dinsha could not give up his addiction. Swamishri persisted about judging him for almost 35 years. Dinshaha recalls at least 50 distinct instances in which Swamishri took the time to help him renounce the habit. But he did not stop, nor did Swamishri. Dinshaha visited Swamishri in 2006 in London for his darshan. They laughed and joked, reliving their memories from 3 decades ago. Swamishri gestured at Dinshaha if he were smoking, silently inquiring about his habit. Dinshaha looked down, quietly admitting to his persisting addiction. Swamishri put his hand on the elderly man's shoulder and started speaking to him as if it were the first time. Dinshaha, you are getting old. You are not in your 20s anymore. Please stop. I do not want to hear about you getting lung cancer or other ailments. I care for you deeply. While recounting this story to me, Dinshaha started crying. He told me that even his wife, children, and parents had given up trying to convince him otherwise, but his guru was still calm, loving, and persistent. For Swamishri, each body, mind, and soul had to be helped. This same passion and commitment convinced the president and founding father of Kenya, Jomo Kenyatta, to pledge an alcohol and drug-free life in 1981. So we'll pause our reading of In Love, at Ease there for now. So thank you for listening, everyone.